Hello, hi. This is the most accurate description you will ever hear of an INTP personality type. So, personality types, you don't know maybe what they are. You take the test, go to 16 personalities, you take a test, it gives you a type, then you are that type for the rest of your life and nothing can change that, and it's your excuse to do absolutely whatever you please at any time. So INTPs, when you take the test, you finish the test, gives you a description. So each letter stands for something else. In INTPs, that stands for I need to procrastinate. And then you can go deeper. Then there's the whole description, which we'll go through. Strengths and weaknesses, but first, they've got something called cognitive functions. So how you think. Each letter stands for something different. So this type, INTP, is... it uses, at first, TI, which stands for thinking intensely. I mean, INTPs, all they do is think. They don't do anything. They could have no hands whatsoever, or legs. They just like to think. They will think. You can't stop them from thinking. And when they stop thinking, they think about stopping thinking. So next one is NE, which stands for never-ending exploration. So coupled with the intense thinking that they've got, it results in constant search for new ideas and is a perfect excuse for doing absolutely nothing at no point in a day. So they look for new ideas all the time, and when they find it, they like to do a little research, do a little bit of a Google search, Wikipedia search, and they go through all this different information, and once they know something, and like, oh, this is cool, they just go look for something else to think about, not do. They think about doing. They would be like, oh yes, please, I will do this at some point tomorrow. But as soon as they finished with an idea, they go to something else. You know, rocket science. Then go to why is there so many types of mushrooms? They can research the deep ocean just to go to why do you make guitars in this way and not the other way? And how would melting mercury help species in tropical forests? You never know. So the next one. The next one is SI, which stands for smart individual, which INTPs are. 100%, they have no faults whatsoever. This cognitive function is supposed to be a memory, so internal memories, which INTPs do have. They do like to think about things in the past as well. So they think about future things and new things, but also just thinking back to what they've done in their lives or yesterday. But sometimes it just doesn't work because they keep thinking about the future. So the last one, and this is the INTP special, this one, it's what they're famous for. It's the last one is FE, which in here, in my types, my cognitive function stands for failing emotionally. So people is a no-no for INTPs. They know people go back, people. I don't need to people right now. Go people somewhere else. They're supposed to have no emotions. They are robots, and social skills is a haha funny meme for them. They don't do it. But in truth, they do have some skills. They like to impersonate. They guess what the person they're talking to wants from them, and they just do a chameleon type of thing and just like, oh yeah, I am that. And then next person comes and they just figure out what the other person likes to talk about, and that's what they are. just to avoid social awkwardness, because they're not very good with it, but they would rather spend all day at home and doing nothing of practical value with no people whatsoever. From time to time, they care about what people think, usually about them, but they don't care for the interaction. No, not for them. People, no. So let's go to some strengths that INTPs have. They have the brain. The brain is very strong with this type. I mean, big brain, big thinking, big stuff, science. Like I said, all the facts and all that good stuff. They know. They know intellectually. They know a lot of stuff. They can solve your problems if they need the brain solving kind of thing. The next one is they learn very quickly. Very quick learners. And they adapt and they like it. They find a new thing and they like to learn it. So they like the state where they don't know anything or something. It's just interest. They just learn very, very quickly. So they can start using it practically. They think about using it. They're like, this is gonna be so useful. Is it though? It's not for you, baby. So the next strength, it's a strength, it's a weakness. Some people might say they question everything. It's just no thing in the world that they will say, no, that is sound, and I do not need to analyze that, sir. This is perfect as it is. They will question everything in this goddamn universe. Why is it that? Why is it this? Why is it this way? That's because they think. They just think about stuff all the time and just why is it this way? Why is it that way? So the authority, not for them. Not for them, because they just look at it, think about it, don't make sense. Why is it that way? Nobody says why it is that way. So they just end up being like, well, it's a bit stupid then. I'm not gonna respect that. Not for them. Authority. Next, good strength that they have is they are very strong in arguing over internet, Reddit, especially. If there's something factually not right, I mean, they'll find it and they'll tell you, especially on the internet. If it was social, if it were in real life, then they'll despise you in their mind, but not actually say anything because they're too scared and afraid. I mean, some will do because they have that emotional skills are so lacking that they'll just spout it out and be like, I'm a robot, this is the fact, but most of them don't. Next, they always look for the better answer, so it ties up with the question, everything. I mean, they look for it, they want an answer, they give you, they want to know the best way, but not actually use it. So they will find it and be like, what is the best way to do this? And they'll know it, and once they know it, they will not use it. They will just be like, yeah, I know it. It's good for me. Give yourself a goddamn medal. Next one is that they, well, not really a strength, but they are quiet people with other people. They'll just, like I said, chameleon to many people, so they'll just keep to themselves and just, you say something about the weather, they'll say something back and stuff like that. But if you ask them about something they are interested in at the moment, oh boy, you're in for a ride, my friend, because if you ask them about that specific part in airplane engine and they happen to be interested in that, you will have 3 hours in front of you, them talking about the minute details of that part of everything and it'll give you a concept, and they'll give you a history of the aircraft and stuff like that, and it'll just keep talking, and you're like, what's happened with the car guy? I like can we talk about sports back, please? They ain't coming back. They're somewhere else. You better leave them to it. They won't even notice you're gone. So goodbye. Okay, let's go to some weaknesses that INTPs have, which is absolutely none. They are perfect human beings, which is obviously not true, but we think that. Okay, first weakness is that obviously they aloners. They don't like people that much. They don't find people that interesting sometimes, usually. So they just keep to themselves and just go research their ideas and do their own thing without other people. And they don't really think about other people. Like, oh, I wonder what this guy's doing now. It ain't like that. It ain't like that with INTPs. So they forget that other people exist. They also forget to goddamn breathe because they think too much. They're in their heads. Their body is just the vessel for their brains. If they could be converted to a robot, I'm convinced most INTPs would go for it. Because why not? I mean, the body is just imperfect, and we know this. So you Google search why is body so imperfect, and you find all these things. And machines are much better. And I mean, you write software, you get some pieces, and you're much better off than your legs and arms. You can do better than that. We can do better than that. I mean, we can think about it, but we're not actually gonna do it. So next one is INTP stands for I need to procrastinate. So they procrastinate on the stuff, on the practical stuff. They don't do. That's just not their thing. They're just not the do people. They're the think people. So they keep thinking about new things, and then once they finish thinking, they'll find another thing to think about. So they think about doing, but before they finish thinking about doing, they'll find something else to think about instead of the doing. So the perfect procrastinators. I mean, oh boy, they'll find the excuse. And I mean, this is why this MBTI, this Myers-Briggs test works so well for INTPs, and there's so many of them on the internet because it's a perfect excuse for INTPs so they can procrastinate as much as they want, and then say, "Oh, it is my type, man. What can I do? It's my type. It's not supposed to change, man. Read about it. I know it's not valid medically or stuff like that, but that's my type, man. You leave me to it. My ideas are so good." Okay, so they forget to live their lives because of it, because practical and actually going out is not something they like that much. So they, for an outsider that looks into their lives, they just not done much. They're like, or they just sat at home, not done much. In their heads, they've done much and they know a lot of stuff, but outside in the real world, they don't do. So they just look like they've done nothing. I mean, they do sometimes, but they have to be pressured into it. I mean, it helps if somebody pushes them. And then, I mean, once they start doing, they're quite good. They learn very quickly. They just don't like it. They just don't like to start doing things, you know? So, the last weakness is they second guess themselves because they question everything. Like I said, weakness as well. They just second guess themselves all the goddamn time. At least most of them. So, especially in the real world, once they know the facts and the details, they don't second. They know it. They thought about it and they know it. That's a fact. But with all the stuff, especially in the real world, they just don't know it. And if they can't find the exact perfect answer, then they'll don't know what to do because they like to think about it, they like to research and find it, but if it's not there, if it's like a social thing, or the questions just can't be answered, as in precisely like a machine, this part goes into this part, and that's how it's supposed to be, then they struggle, because life doesn't have all the answers, and they would like to have all the answers, but it don't work like that. It do not be like that. My boys. So they just keep guessing, keep second guessing themselves because they think maybe there's an idea. So they don't know what to do. Google's bloody confusing, and so they Google a bit more, trying to find an answer, and it's not there. So they're just scratching their heads. They're like, okay, let's not Google, let's think about it. Okay, this is the issue. I'll think about it like a lot. and they think about it a lot. And what's the result? They still don't know the answer, and that's it. So that's INTP for you. Smart, big brain, big smarts, nothing physical doing. They don't like the do. Procrastinate all the time. Learn quickly, and that's about it. INTPs, go for the win, boys. I mean, I like INTPs. They're most popular on the internet amongst the INFPs, which I might do a video about as well. Who knows? Who knows what I'm gonna do? I don't know what I'm gonna do. No one knows what I'm gonna do. Me neither. Goodbye.